Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Okay, so this whole bank leak story, all right, is so ridiculous because it's not correct, all right? Those times that I'm referencing stuff on stream have nothing to do with these bank leaks, all right? So I'm going to tell you what really happened. Then I'm going to tell you what I think is going on with this, all right? And then we'll go from there. Now, I just want to say this ahead of time, all right? I've already publicly admitted to all of you in this very react that I played WWE Champions, that I spent quite a lot of money on that game, right? I admitted this publicly. Thousands of dollars. I'll admit it. I played thousands of dollars on WWE Champions, even on previous, stream or previous games, mobile games. I did that too. I've already publicly admitted all of this, correct? And then I told you I sold the account off after, I don't remember exactly when, because I don't remember the timeline. I told you I tried to change my name a couple times. I couldn't get into a faction. I kept getting harassed by the detractors. I gave up. And then finally I sold it off. So I don't actually know when that was, honestly. I don't remember the time frame. But then after that, I started playing it again on a private account, which I have now on my phone, which is not an iPhone anymore. So everything's new. All right. There you go. So there you go. I've admitted to all of that yesterday. So here's the thing. If all that I've already admitted to, why would I lie about the bank leaks at all? This kind of almost lines up with that story, does it not? So if I said that one was true, there's no risk at me saying this is also true. This is a horrible federal crime that happened to me, correct? But I'm going to tell you right now, this isn't true. Okay? Here's what actually happened. One day, I wake up in the morning, and I look in my email, and I got a notification. And the notification is, your account has been overdrawn. Now, to my knowledge, I don't even have any money coming out of my bank account. All right? So this is not good. I'm like, what is going on? So I look at my bank account and I see not one, but multiple payments are being withdrawn from my bank account, okay? From accounts that are legit accounts that I have. All right. I have these accounts. They're real accounts. It's not like someone found a way in there and stole the money. These are real accounts that have authorization that, they can take money out of my bank account every month for various purposes. But out of nowhere, they are taking giant chunks of my money out of my bank account without my authorization. So just imagine this hypothetical, because this is not actually what it was. But let's say there's a utility you have every month, and you pay a certain amount every month. It's on auto pay. All of a sudden, that utility company takes $4,000 out of your bank account without your authorization. What the what was going on, right? So, whoa. And it wasn't one, it was multiple companies. And it all hit at once. So this was all done like on the same day. Okay. And I'm like, how is this possible? All right. So basically, I contacted everyone. I contacted the companies. I contacted my bank account. I contacted everything. Come to find out, someone had socially engineered a couple companies, which I had accounts with. All right. The only real reason, likely, that people knew I had these accounts is either number one, because I'd already previously been doxxed, so everyone knew where I lived. So you kind of know where I am. You'll know, oh, this is a company that Phil may have an account with. This is a company Phil may have an account with because he kind of lives in this. He will exactly where he lives. I almost suspect maybe perhaps some of it might have come out during the bankruptcy. I don't know. Like, it could have been information that was published in the bankruptcy documents. I can't confirm or deny that. It's just a guess. Like, how would you know that I have accounts with certain companies unless, it was published in the bankruptcy, right? So anyway, all this money is coming out and going to these things without my authorization. And I'm like, what the hell? So I'm overdrawn because 2 payments I don't owe. I don't owe these payments to these companies yet, but they're just taking all my money. So I talked to the companies, and essentially what they say to me is, so you're telling us you didn't call in and you didn't have this big conversation about this and that with the person on the line, and tell them all this basic authorization information. Like, no, not at all. Wasn't me. So what happened was with the information that's been doxed about me. So you're talking about my name, my phone numbers, not one, two phone numbers that have been doxed before. My address, right? Basic info about me. These people were able to call in and actually impersonate me with these companies and socially engineer. It's not like, oh, they fooled an automated system. They socially engineered people on the phone to foolishly let these people have access to my account and make payments. Okay. Now, I actually have no idea if they had access to the accounts themselves or if they just had some dummy do a payment over the phone. Okay. But they did it regardless. So, number one, all right, one of the companies I refused to do business with further. Their behavior was actually completely unsatisfactory in the matter. I considered suing them, but I just didn't have the money to do it. So I just let it go. All right. The other company was very, very good working with me about it. And basically, we have now stuff in place. All the companies I work with, I have security codes. I have two-factor authorizations, every company. So that way no one could just impersonate me and try to fuck around with my stuff, right? I mean, that's pretty messed up that they could do that. So I had to put all this extra levels of security on top of everything, all right? Now, in the meantime, while all this was happening, I did call my bank account, company, my bank, and I explained, and they said, listen, you have everything on like auto. You need to basically get a new account because you have no idea. Maybe they're going to get access to other accounts you don't suspect, and they're going to try to take more money. So what they do is they just flag the account and shut it down. So my bank account got flagged and shut down. And what ended up happening was I had no access to any money for a while. All right. And now I have all these things set up that are auto pay, my mortgage, my car, my back taxes with the government, my tax attorney and other attorneys who I'm paying monthly. I'm doing all this stuff, right? And now I can't pay them because all my account has no money. It's frozen. I have no way to pay them anything. You can't send the IRS a PayPal, just so you know. It's not possible. You have to have a bank account to do it. So I'm screwed. And basically everything happens here. And I'm like, well, I'm going to have to just start from scratch. And I did. So I actually had to make a whole new bank account. I had to, basically work with these companies to get everything reestablished. And it screwed me over for a while. It actually screwed me over for several months where I was all messed up money-wise. And I talked about it publicly on my stream. So what June is doing, he's taking these clips that my detractors assume were referencing these bank leaks. And he's saying, there's your evidence. He's talking about it. No, it had nothing to do with these bank leaks at all. All right. So when people started talking to me about these bank leaks, I tried to look into them, but the only place that had information about them was Kiwi Farms. So at first I was very apprehensive about going over to Kiwi Farms to look at them, but eventually I did give it a gander. And from what I'm to understand, because by the time I got over there, excuse me, basically you didn't have access to any of the stuff that they were saying was the corroborating evidence. All right. Because let me put it in perspective. If this is real, all right, which I'm telling you it's not, you can judge for yourself what you think. If this is real, someone had to find a way to basically impersonate me, like I said, reverse engineer the account however they did it. They literally committed a federal crime every time they accessed the account because that's fraud. You're pretending you're me. You shouldn't have access to the data, right? And then they did it repeatedly over and over to keep getting transaction history. So if he said, what did TJ Gamebox say? They did it increments of 10. They did it like 500 times. So they committed 500 federal crimes. No exaggeration to get this data. Okay. That's pretty crazy. Now, from what I'm going to understand, this spreadsheet was made because I guess people were saying there was a call-in system. So they were calling into a bank. They were putting in some kind of a security code. And it was giving them access to the account. And then they would just sit there for hours on end listening to transactions, typing it into a spreadsheet. And that's how they came up with this data. Okay? Fair enough if you believe that. But the bottom line is it's not verifiable, right? At all. There's no way to verify that this is real because they were supposedly doing a phone system and it doesn't work anymore. Like right now, you can't just call and get the data. By the way, if you did, it would be a federal crime. But if anyone wanted to, you can't just call and get the data. It doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. All right? So you're taking the word of someone who supposedly committed 500 federal crimes that this data is correct. and you're going to submit this on the internet as if it's believable evidence of anything. All right? I want you to think about how insane that is. That I just believe it because we just believe that everything that's with Phil is bad. So obviously this is real, correct? Now, again, here's the thing. If it's real, why wouldn't I admit it? I've already admitted to you. I played WWE Champions. I spent a ton of money on it. There's no reason for me to deny it. That's the most damning thing in these bank leagues is all of this spending, right, on a mobile game. But I'm going to tell you this because I've already talked about it the other day, and people listened on that stream. But now that I'm doing the big documentary react, allow me to explain to you why this makes absolutely no sense. I went through some of it. All right, I did. I'll admit it because I wanted to see why would people think that this is me. Okay, so first of all, there's a million of these iTunes transactions. Okay, and the reason that this is very suspect, all right, that you would think that this is real, all along the narrative of my detractors has been, well, Phil gets all these tips in every day, right, and then he immediately goes and he blows all that money on WWE Champions. Okay, well, my tips are in my PayPal account. Which means if I was making these transactions in WWE Champions from the PayPal account, it would say PayPal transaction through my PayPal. It wouldn't show on my bank statement at all. It wouldn't show up at all. It would be all through PayPal. All right. So number one, that narrative is blown apart because if you listen to what the detractors are saying, it couldn't even happen. All right. So you can say, well, forget all that. Maybe you did pay out of your bank account. Maybe you didn't have any money in your PayPal or whatever. All right, so now we're going to change the narrative, but that's okay. Let's let them change the narrative, okay? This is Apple iTunes, right? Each transaction, microtransaction. So here's the deal. If these are WWE Champions transactions that say Apple iTunes on them, okay, I'm here to tell you as a player of WWE Champions, that doesn't jive. And here's why. Increasingly more over the years, WWE Champions, as well as other mobile games, have tried to get people to spend less in their store in the game and more in third-party websites. I showed you this when I was playing WWE Champions last week right here on one of my streams. Well, actually, it was on DSP Gaming, but I showed you the web store. And I said, you see in the web store that all of this looks like it's a better value? Because it is. They actually sell better packs and better value packs on the web store than they do in the game itself. Why? Because when you buy something through the game, through iTunes or through the Google store, whatever it could be, they make less money because Apple, Google takes a cut of each transaction. You see, they don't want you to spend money through the game because then they lose out on money. But if you go to their third-party website and spend money, they get all that money. It goes directly to their pockets. Do you see? So it makes absolutely no sense that if someone was mass spending in a game like WWE Champions, that they would ever be mass spending through the store itself, and it would say Apple iTunes transaction. You would literally be shooting yourself in the foot every time because you're spending more and getting less. The better values are on their website. Why would you do this? Why would someone go and spend all this money through the store unless they're ignorant? But the argument is, I constantly play the game. I spend so much on it. I know everything about it. How could I be so ignorant as to mass spend all of this through the game like that and basically be pissing away all the extra value I would have been got if I bought it through the web store? All right. So number one, the PayPal thing is debunked. Number two, the whole idea that these are WWE Champions transactions is already debunked. Okay. You can analyze this even further. Like one day, it claims there's like 3 or 4 DoorDash transactions in one day. In my home, there's 2 people, myself and my wife. Why would we have ordered DoorDash like 4 times in one day? Do you think we eat 4 meals in a day? All right. Some of these things that they actually pulled out of this, the detractors, that is, and analyzed, right? One of the things is they said, look at all the money he spent at the pet store. Okay. How does that even make sense? I have one cat. His name is Jasper. You guys have seen him. He's on the streams all the time. I have one kitty, right? So if that's the case, why would I have spent insane amounts of money at the pet store the way that they're claiming I did? What did I buy him? 10 cat trees, 42 cat beds, 700 toys? Like, what are you talking about? If you actually analyze this, it looks like this is someone who has a bunch of pets, who has a family, who is doing family spending, and someone in the house is spending a ton of money through iTunes on something, and you don't know what, right? It doesn't look like me. The stuff doesn't even corroborate. And the thing is, you can argue again. It's all circumstantial. You're correct. This entire thing is circumstantial. There's no way you could ever prove that this is real because it's a federal crime. It's literally not evidence of anything because the person who apparently got the information, if it really is real, committed 500 federal crimes to get it, and now there's no evidence left that it ever existed because it was through a phone system that doesn't work anymore. So how is the bank leaks a big thing? Honestly, like when you start actually looking at it and you analyze it, it makes no sense. And there's actually idiots in my chat right now saying, bro, come clean. Come clean to what? I already came clean. I played WWE Champions. I have played it. I spent lots of money on it in the past. That doesn't mean that every single thing in this documentary is real. All right? I have literally nothing to lose to tell you that this is real or fake. Do you understand? Like, I literally have nothing at all to lose. At all. I would tell you if it was real. I'm telling you right now, it's not. This is not the situation that I went through. I went through a really bad situation with social engineering. I got all my payments and all my accounts were screwed up. I had to get a whole new bank account. It has nothing to do with this whatsoever. All right? So this is the crazy thing because they actually found a way to do it so that no one can corroborate it, no one can back it up, but everyone believes it anyway. I don't even know what else to say. I really don't even know what else to say. And what's funny is now you get a person, well, if you've already admitted to lying, well, how do you know we're not lying now? So then why are you here? You're watching me react to my own documentary. If you think every word coming out of my mouth is a lie, why are you here? That's a moot point. You're literally wasting your time, your breath saying that. If you already don't believe me, then it doesn't matter what I say. You'll never believe me, so fuck off, right? Like, what a dumb thing to say in my chat. And of course, when I factually, when I logically attack these things, then they degrade to insults. People are insulting my wife now in chat and everything. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's ridiculous. Okay, so goodbye. And that's what I mean. When the arguments get blown apart, okay? When the arguments get blown apart, all of a sudden it's back to the drawing board. Let's go to insults. Let's move the goalpost, talk about a different subject. They can't handle it. Just like my other detractors, like, Duty and all this, when they get exposed for being so fucking full of it, they can't handle it. They crumble, they fall, they felt themselves. So there you go. Oops, I have nothing to say. Let's go ahead and start insulting Phil, right? Okay, are we done with the bank leaks now? I hope we are. The non-existent, fabricated, complete nonsensical bank leaks that aren't real. I really had enough of that. You don't have to believe me. Honestly, I don't care if you do. Because if I've already told you the thing that's the most damning thing and admitted to it, I don't care if you believe me about that one at all. It's so stupid, it doesn't even make a difference, right? Okay. Hellrider here with a super chat. The blood ritual is complete. The end approaches. This is Hellrider comes in here and says, well, not even just in here, but in my other chats, he comes in and says these things that are like fantasy stuff. Thank you, Hellrider. I appreciate that very much. Unless you know that there's a blood ritual going on outside my house, please let me know. I'd like to go out there and stop that immediately. Please, I have enough stuff going on in my life. I don't need, like, blood sacrifices outside, demons coming out of the street. Okay? Okay. So, guys, now we're heading into essentially what is the home stretch. All right? I know there's a topic that's going to be tackled right now. VTuber destruction after that. Wants a good image, doesn't get it. The side scrollers, which I'll have a good amount to say, simply because so much happened today in regards to that. All right? Literally, so much happened in regards to that today. There's a lot to say. All right? But I will say this. Please, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, first of all, give it a like. We have 850 viewers and climbing, actually. It keeps going up. We have 241 likes. Let's get that to 300 likes, right? If you're here and you're enjoying the react, please get that to 300 likes tonight. I would really appreciate that, all right? In regards to super chats, we're decent. We got a lot of gifted members tonight. Thank you for that. Right now, the real goal is to hit that King's Tips goal and keep that King Streak going to 37. Let's keep the momentum going and crush it. We only have $30, but the night's not over. Last night, a lot of people actually contributed at the last minute. I don't know if that's what you guys are doing tonight or not. I don't know. But let's keep it going, shall we? All right.
I got the drip going. 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 I got the drip going.
It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop.
So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.